I was just telling Ben that I had just gotten a haircut, but since I have like the craziest headphones of the three of us, it hides my haircut no matter what. So I was trying to change it to like where it could maybe reveal.
Change your haircut?
Not my haircut, but like my headphones. So I moved it back like this, and it looks worse.
Dude, do you remember the days?
So dumb. When you had those wraparound.
Yeah, wraparound headphones.
The wraparound headphones were.
I had a pair of those.
Yeah.
Me too. Those were popular for like a year.
Yeah, but like, why were they necessary? Because they hurt the top of your head to wear.
I don't know.
They were. It was a style.
You couldn't
thing,
wear them with a hat.
But you also couldn't lean back like on the school bus. I remember having those on the school bus.
Because they also had hooks. They had hooks behind your ears too.
Right.
So it would just like push your ears forward.
I was like in like 6th grade trying to be cool, and my mom would be like, "Well, how are you gonna put your head back on the ride to school?" And I was like, "Shut up, Mom!"
Wow, you're a terrible son.
I was for a time. I'm not anymore. I love you, Mom. And these are not wraparound headphones, but this is a dope ass haircut. Hi, Beaver fan. And welcome to the 30th episode of the Belligerent Beavs Podcast. My hair is not as luxurious as Benny's, but I did.
It'll never be.
It can't.
It still looks good.
Thank you, Benny. Thank you. I got a nice haircut on Friday morning. My local barbershop used to be one of those like, hey, like here's a beer to enjoy while you get your haircut thing. And it hasn't been that way in a long time because of the pandemic and mask mandates and everything else going on. And this was the first time Minneapolis and St. Paul recently lifted its most recent mask mandate. So I walked in and my barber was like, "So do you want a beer?" And this was like 10 a.m. on Friday. I hadn't gone into work yet. I hadn't done my Peloton yet, and I was like, "Yeah, I do want a beer. I want a fucking beer while I get my haircut on this Friday."
It's been too damn long.
And it was a Hams. It was beautiful. I went in and answered emails for a while afterwards. JP just opened another beer, as I'm sure you just heard, listener. Lots of fun shit happening. Benny is wearing an incredible Miami Dolphins shirt, I believe, or a Miami Hurricane shirt. We'll get to it. It's the U. Oh, I can tell it's the U.
Hey, did you guys see that kid who like did the fake outs and then he ended up committing to the U? He like put on like 8 different hats and everyone was like, oh, and he did another one, oh, like what?
Was this recent or like a while ago?
Well, I feel like it's been a thing that kids have been doing for a while now, but there was a recent one where he started with the U hat, then he put on like 9 other hats. And then there were no hats left on the table, so everyone was like, "So what?" And then he pulled out another University of Miami hat.
A different one. Like not even the original.
A different one. Yeah. Like the first one was a green U hat and the last one was like a white U hat. And then
it was so weird.
But he put on every hat of the SEC before putting on.
Do you guys remember when it was like big news when ESPN started covering signing day?
I do.
Right?
Yeah,
and now you have like I don't know if it would be considered a stunt, but stuff like that. And then fucking Brian Kelly doing like weird, creepy dances with recruits down in at LSU. It's become so much different than like even when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't sign for anything.
Neither did I. I staged it like I was though. I remember I got the it's not like a bumper sticker, but sort of like the windshield sticker. Before I told anybody, I got that sort of like transparent Oregon State decal.
No, this is how you announced where you were going to college.
And I announced to my parents knew what I was doing. My dad, before I like decided, my dad came. I'm writing a piece about this for the first ever Belligerent Beavs newsletter. Shout out our Patreon subscribers.
Shout out
About how that 2006 USC Oregon State football game was so meaningful to me because it was the first time my dad and I were ever at a football game together, hoping for the same result. Because my dad's a Packer fan, I'm a Vikings fan. We grew up at each other's throats. But my dad came in to I think I was playing video games or something, and he was like, "Hey, I don't want this to influence your decision or anything, but I just want you to know, Dad's weekend at Oregon State this fall is during the game against USC. So just take that information with a grain of salt. But yeah, so I got that sort of like, how I think in the mid 2000s, everyone there is like every college just decided we're going to make the same back windshield transparent decal with the same font. So my sister, who went to Barnard in New York, there's a Barnard sticker on my mom's car. So when I made things final, I went out to my mom's car and I put an Oregon State decal right above where the Barnard decal was.
1,000% committed.
I think my mom took a picture too, and I was wearing like a North Carolina Tar Heels t-shirt. Some school I had zero chance of getting into.
That was the fake out. That was your fake out. You were the true innovator.
Sweatshirts.
Yeah,
all these different decals on top of each other. You couldn't even see what the words were because they're just transparent.
All you kids today think you're blazing a trail. I need to show you my mom's digital camera memory card from 16 years ago.
That's like impressive though. Your mom had a digital camera even 16 years ago. I feel like I was begging my parents to like buy me one for college because they'd be like, "Why? We have film. Film is fine."
You did have a digital camera, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know where those photos went, and I'm kind of happy I don't know.
They're gonna pop up like on your time hop someday. We'll be like, hey, remember 15 years ago when you took these?
Oh God, no. The answer is probably still no. I don't.
Nope.
Closing credits to The Hangover ass realization. Well, this is the Belligerent Beavs Podcast, the 38th episode of the Belligerent Beavs Podcast, the podcast that has been described as a little over the top by one reviewer, and I honestly think that was a fair review.
Someone said that? Like where?
It was in like Reddit comments.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was like some forum, Benny's house or something like that.
Benny's house. It wasn't in Benny's house. But anyway, I also can't argue with it.
People talk about us on Reddit?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
But a few have. I mean, it's been a really long winter for Oregon State sports. I think the whole fan base is just grasping for pearls to discuss. But
imagine if our basketball team was good. How much over the top we'd be right now.
Our men's basketball team is qualifying for the fucking NCAA tournament, not
heard it here first.
But we do need to start with that because it is official that are we 3 and 337 this season, or is
Feels
it 3,
like it?
Is it 3 and 26 the official number now after the loss to UW the other night?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or is it 3 and 27?
I think we are now 3 and 27.
Super secret Iskander.
It's 3 and 27.
It's 3 and 27.
We've lost 17 straight.
We've lost only 17 straight. Okay.
Yeah.
But
the record was 20, right? The record for the worst ever season after an elite.
Oh yes, run. Yeah. I thought you were talking about losing streaks. I was like, we might be up there, like with the Caltech Beavers basketball program.
Oh yay.
There's a small town in northern Minnesota called Bemidji that has a university, and their team name is the Bemidji State Beavers.
Whoa, how good are they at basketball? I feel like maybe some crazy magic happened where we swapped bodies with the Caltech basketball team. It's kind of like Space Jam 3.
The switch of the Beavers.
But anyway, it is official on Wednesday afternoon in Las Vegas. We will be playing your 12th seeded Oregon State Beavers basketball team. Last year we said not 12. This year we are 12th AF, and
we've cemented ourselves.
We are
the history books. We are the most 12th team ever.
The most 12th of all the 12s, and we will be playing the 5th seeded Oregon Ducks. And honestly, it's kind of what dreams are made of.
Yeah, I would much rather beat the Ducks and get them knocked out than have made it to the Final Four. This is all for a reason.
Exactly.
It's going to cause them the most disappointment.
Okay, but hold on. I got to clarify that statement you just said because, yes, I would beat the Ducks over going to the Final Four this season because of how it's gone and the way that we've kind of laid a foundation for this being the most disappointing loss in program history for Oregon. So I agree. But if we had an okay season, I would still prefer to go to the Final Four.
I would too,
sure,
JP. But you have to we understand that Benny is the chief architect of pettiness of the three of us, especially pettiness towards the University of Oregon. Benny has been a Beaver way longer than
very true
either of us. So Benny, I know you're the one who normally asks questions. Shout out to Benny's bonus belligerents, available exclusively on the Belligerent Beavs Patreon. Check out our Patreon if you haven't yet. Benny, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Right now, as it stands, the Oregon State men's basketball team is 3-27, with an ensuing or a looming matchup against the University of Oregon Ducks, who are 18-12 in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament. If the Oregon State men's basketball team, again, the Oregon State Beavers, the men's basketball team representing the Harvard of the Pac-12 and Corvallis, Oregon, the Paris of the Pacific Northwest, were to defeat that team from down the road, is this a successful men's basketball season? Yes or no?
Yes, just because of how just the humor of it. It would be it would be what, like you said, it's what dreams are made of. It's what my petty little heart dreams are made of.
It would be so Shakespearean for us to beat Oregon on Wednesday.
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. I'm crossing my fingers and toes that it happens. It would not be likely, but that's why they call it March Madness. Anything can happen, so we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised if it did happen, to be honest.
The team is obviously we say it's the weirdest team because they made the Elite Eight and then they went 3-26 the next year. But 27. It is a 27. It is a weird team in the sense that they will play a really good game where they, if a couple calls would have gone their way, they'd win, and then the next day they're getting blown out. So I don't know what they'll bring, and if they bring their A game, then they definitely have a chance.
Well, here's to this time next week talking about a team that's 6-27 and on its way to the NCAA consecutive season. You are listening to Belligerent Beavs, right on the heels of the men's Pac-12 tournament starting. I am your esteemed co-host, Terry Horseman, at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at Terrence Horseman on Instagram, joined as always by Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian Wehage, at BennyL1986 on your social media channels, and JP Bertram, at JP Bertram on Instagram, at the Trial J on Twitter. You are
that pronunciation. Yeah, that pronunciation is actually how you pronounce my name. So thank you for doing that correctly.
With taking like 9 seconds to say J.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's 13 J's and then one.
That's why I have a line across the top of the J. It makes it longer.
It's a hard J.
Yeah.
Well, we need to toast to our Oregon State men's basketball team to give them good luck. We need to toast to the Oregon State gymnastics team, who are killing it, and we'll get into more of these details, and we'll talk some baseball. We got some men's soccer shout-outs to get into, and
softball.
Holy softball, Batman, Jiminy Jillikers. And also, fucking, Oregon State football is back for spring camp. We're gonna have to
hey yo,
we need to have like 2 episodes a week now because there's so much shit's going on again.
Yeah.
But so much fun stuff, and also we need time for us to be back up on our bullshit. Maybe we don't need time for that. But let's go around the room, and then I also have a question to add to this beer segment as well.
Oh,
I'm fully taking over Benny's bonus belligerence, and just it's Terry's additional
comments.
comments.
Sans alliteration. That one.
But anyway, JP, I know you have a Starburst double IPA that you're sipping on because I saw it. Mm-hmm. But also you have something else, and I'll be doing a live tasting again for a second consecutive episode. And It also looks like Benny might be fucking with something. I don't know. You have a bottle or a can of something that you have been just looking at very introspectively.
I have.
We're gonna get to you in a second, but JP, it looks like you've got a very like chocolatey, nutty, sort of a kicky, stouty thing. Tell me if any of those things are right.
Want to take another look at it?
It looks chocolatey, nutty, kicky, and stouty.
What if I told you it's a double IPA?
I would believe you.
It is.
Me too.
It's a double black IPA from Culmination Brewing. Shout out Culmination Brewing here in Portland.
Yeah.
And it's an ode to Benny. It's called 4 and 20.
Yeah.
Is the name of the beer. It's actually delicious. I haven't had very many black IPAs. I used to have more of them. I'd see them pretty often. I don't see them as frequently now. And shout out to my sister Erin and brother-in-law Taylor. These are birthday beers they had delivered for me this week.
And speaking of which, happy birthday, JP.
Happy birthday, JP.
Thank you.
It was your birthday yesterday, meaning 2, 3, 4 days ago from when the listener is listening to this. March 5th, 2022. 35 years old. Kevin Durant years old.
Yeah.
How was your birthday? What did you do?
It was great. We went to Astoria, which is why I opened when I jumped on it with a Goonies reference. But
nice.
Yeah, love the Goonies. We did a lot of beer tastings.
Great.
Shocker.
Great movie.
You
had to go to the Oregon coast to have beer tastings?
Well, no, we stayed with we're up on the hill with a great view of the Astoria Megler Bridge and the mouth of the Columbia. I got to see all the ships come in. We had a hot tub, a sauna, and then we spent all day Saturday at Fort George Brewing for lunch, headed out over to Bowie Brewing for after lunch, and then went to Astoria Brewing Company for after lunch. And then we went to sushi for dinner because it was really late and everyone was like, we're going home. My kids were losing their minds, so we went birthday dinner at the sushi lounge. It was great, though. I had a great time. I love Astoria. We had good weather.
Astoria is awesome.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah. So
nice. Well,
happy
birthday.
Astoria. Yeah, thank you.
Shout out to you.
Thanks.
Benny and I ordered a birthday gift for you, but it's on back order, so it'll be.
Is it from our own store?
No. You would have.
It's
seen
a koozie. It's their back order. Sorry.
But yeah, it'll be like a May Day birthday gift.
Thanks guys.
So yeah,
when is May Day?
You're welcome. I don't know. That's probably when it'll show up.
Okay, I'll wait till then, and I don't know when that is.
Yeah, and then you'll
just
forget.
Sitting around forever. Yeah.
It'll just be a thing that pops up randomly, and you'll be like, "Oh, this was fun." Happy birthday, JP.
Thanks.
Did you listen to "Birthday" by Flo Rida? Please play 5 seconds of "Birthday" by Flo. Featuring Rick Ross.
There you go. I did. And then on the way home last night, I played some birthday song by 2 Chainz. So JP played 5 seconds of birthday song by 2 Chainz.
It's your birthday. Bad bitch contest. You in first.
Dude, I fucking love 2 Chainz.
I do too.
I tell you that 2 Chainz stayed at. It wasn't the hotel I was managing, but our sister property. Like before he became super famous, he's playing at some like the Showbox, I think, in Seattle.
No, what happened? Is there
he
more
just stayed there.
Oh, nice.
He just stayed there.
That's cool.
And
nice
that's
guy.
the end of the story. Yeah, cool. He was. Yeah, he actually one of our managers went down and got to go backstage and hang out with him before the show. He said he was a really nice guy.
Tight.
Yeah,
Cool.
so shout out 2 Chainz.
Shout out 2 Chainz.
Speaking of 2 Chainz, I got a chain for my birthday, a gold chain, because guess what? I lost my other one. I lost my regular one at a hotel in Ashland, and so I got a replacement.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Do you just
Also,
leave it at the hotel?
I did. I just didn't realize it until I got all the way back here, and I was like, damn it. And they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I found your chain.
Right.
Nice. Also, Benny,
Yeah,
you're here.
I am.
And you were holding a can of something. It is the halftime of the Portland Timbers LAFC match right now. So thank you for stepping away from this. Timbers currently up 1-0 on
On a
LAFC.
sick goal.
Yeah, by
Such
Jimmy
a sick
Char.
goal.
Bangers only. We'll talk a little more men's soccer later in the show because we've got some Oregon State tidbits from this Major League Soccer weekend. But I think it looks like you may be joining JP and I.
I am.
In the
What?
Yeah.
in the beer drinking.
Yeah.
You're a beer man.
What's gotten into you?
I was
Beer,
at
apparently.
the grocery store and I passed the beer aisle and I said, I'll get one.
Wow.
It was
Just
a spur of
one,
the
just
moment
one.
sort of thing.
Just one.
It
You bought
is-
one
it is just
beer at the
one.
grocery store.
Yeah. It was
Smart.
yeah.
Economical.
It was. And it's a good beer. It's a rice beer. I've never had a rice beer before. It's called Koshi Hikari Ichigo beer. And it's delicious. It's brewed out of Japan.
Wait, what made you grab that one off the shelf of all the beers?
Well, it's a really long story how I ended up at this particular grocery store, but essentially I had a dinner in Hawaii that was really good, and it was one of those places where you like cook your own meat at your table.
Oh,
Like a
hell
hot
yeah.
pot or like a...
It was like
Mongol?
it was not a Mongolian grill, but like a Japanese barbecue spot.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So did you go to a Japanese market?
So I went. It's actually a Korean market, but they sell like little mini like barbecue things that you can put at your table. So we did that and got all the veggies and meat to go on that. And while I was there, this was a unique beer that I had never seen before. And they have like a ton of imported stuff there that you can't really find at normal grocery stores. So I got it for no other reason than I had never seen it before. But it is a really good one.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Japanese beer. I got sushi on Friday night, and the sushi place I went to had a Asahi Super Dry in bottles, which is like the Miller Lite of Japan.
Okay.
So I got a couple of them, and then I messaged our friend Ihoi, who's in China now but was in Japan for a long time. I was like,
Right.
yo, I'm drinking Asahi Super Dry in Minneapolis. Wish you're with me. And he was just like, fuck yeah. Shout out to you, Ihoi. But yeah,
Maybe Ehoy's really like, glad I'm not with you.
glad I'm far away from all three of you again. Benny, can you give us the name of that beer one more time, please?
Yeah. Koshi Hikari Ichigo,
Okay.
I think.
Is
I'm
Ichigo
pretty sure.
the province in Japan where it is brewed?
It's brewed in Niigata, Japan. So I don't know if that is in Ichigo or not. It could be though.
It could be. The brewing scene in Japan is actually pretty fucking good. So we'll have to get out to Japan and find it.
Deal.
We'll make that happen when Belligerent Beavs goes worldwide.
That's right.
For the second consecutive week, I'm going to be doing a live tasting with this beer of the month subscription that my brother-in-law got me. Shout out my brother-in-law Raphael. This one is a blood orange Hefeweizen from Ellicottville Brewing Company, which is in Ellicottville, New York. And there is 0 copy on this beer, so I can't lean on that at all. You know, I love to hype up other copywriters when I get the chance. But now I'm just gonna have to drink this and react naturally, and I have no notes to fall back on. So it is a wheat ale brewed with natural blood oranges, and I will be sipping it for the first time. Right meow.
Ooh, the anticipation.
I heard that go down your throat.
Me too. And it sounded kind of like it hurt.
It didn't hurt.
So is the flavor profile pain?
No, the flavor
Throbbing
profile's
throat.
that pain. That's just that's just my baseline. You can't blame the beer on that. It's very good. It's very good. That's very smooth. I can taste the blood orange. It tastes like it's maybe a little thick on the heffy feel, It's probably not the best hef that I've had, but it's up there. I don't know. Untapped is 1 to 5, Jay, and like the highest beer you ever award is like 4.5.
Yeah, I've given like maybe 2 4.75s.
Ooh, okay. I'd probably give this like a 4.2, 4.3 then. It's pretty
Fair.
it's pretty yeah, it's solid. And I do really like blood orange just as a flavor. Like Fulton Brewing Company here does hard seltzers as well, and they have a blood orange hard seltzer that's like my favorite summer drink. So this is, probably good for me anyway, but yeah, it's a solid drink. So shout out Ellicottville Brewing Company in Ellicottville, New York, and just shout out to blood orange as a flavor profile because I enjoy it. And
Can you explain the difference between a blood orange flavor profile and an orange flavor profile?
I cannot.
I'm pretty up to date on my citrus.
Okay, here we go.
I'm a citrus connoisseur. I think blood orange is a little sweeter.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think.
I agree.
And
I agree.
redder.
I agree with Benny.
Settled.
Yeah,
Settled. No wonder you like it so much, Terry.
That's
It's
true.
closer.
It's sweet like you.
I know, right? I'm such a sweetheart.
We often, or I often reference my mom's favorite beer. My dad's favorite beer is a Hefeweizen. It's not by that brewing company, but Henry Weinhard's.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think
That
I
makes
stole
sense.
a few of his back when I was 19 years old.
Yeah, yeah. So did the rest of the neighborhood, I think.
It's stemming from a party that may have resulted to Benny driving back to Corvallis on Highway 34 and being called back to Portland immediately to
Yeah.
replace some of those Henry Whitehard Hefeweizens.
Oh, not just that.
Yeah.
It might have been the body that was thrown through a fence that was, or maybe smashed furniture or.
Yeah, my cousin's body thrown through the fence too. Yeah, it's like his nephew. Oh, my dad was so mad. But shout out Joey Hage for putting up with that.
Yeah.
And shout out for Joe Ehage for loving Henry Weinhard's Hefeweizens. I feel like that's a very strong dad beer.
Well, it's
think so.
it's like when you're an early innovator in the craft scene, right? If you liked Henry Weinhard's, you were like,
Right.
come on, I'm over this Budweiser business. Let's get something that's
Especially
craft.
in like 2005.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So the question I have for you guys, and I feel like this can spice up the beer segment a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't want to take your thunder, Benny, but I'm pretty sure you would not have asked this in an episode of Benny's Bonus Belligerence. Once again, shout out Benny's Bonus Belligerence exclusively on the Patreon page. But we talk a lot about our favorite beers and just beers we like in this segment. I want to know each of your favorite beer circumstances. Not like double IPA or Black Butte Porter or anything, but like what is your favorite kind of beer when you're drinking it and all of the circumstances that surround it.
Yep.
So I will go first.
Let's hear it.
Just to put it out there and sort of set the tone. My favorite is not super early, but early to mid-morning beer at the
At the barber shop.
before
On a
at the
weekday.
barber shop before I go to work. No, early to mid-morning beer at the airport before a fun trip right after you turn your out of office on. Because airports, there's no time. Airports are like casinos. Like anything goes basically.
Yeah.
While you're in an airport waiting for your flight. A fucking like 10 a.m. just tall $14 beer at whatever, at no matter what the airport is. Like if you're at PDX, I almost always end up drinking at the Deschutes brewery spot there. If I'm leaving Portland, heading back home or heading anywhere else. When it's like 10 a.m. and like you have an hour or like hour and a half before you need to board. And you're just getting one of those big ass beers. You know it's too expensive, but you don't care. You're not checking email for a while. You just turned your like, I don't give a fuck. Don't contact me, motherfucker. Email on. Hopefully you can actually make that your out of office word for word. But that's just a magical moment. So like that's what I'm asking here, like your favorite kind of like, circumstances around that. And I feel like JP is probably more ready to answer. So JP, I'm going to throw it over to you. This question, favorite beer circumstance.
And we're pairing kind of with a beer, I guess, maybe. No, you don't have to.
You can.
Okay. Well, mine would definitely be, and it's been since I moved back to Oregon. I have loved a early afternoon on a Sunday, late fall, early winter, barrel-aged stout while watching football and having the fire on. That is the epitome of relaxation right there.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think mine would be, and I don't know if it was like from a campfire when I was younger or what, but like I've always associated Fat Tire and camping together, or not necessarily even camping, but like being around a bonfire, and specifically like down at the Oregon coast too. So I think that would be my favorite. I think that just brings me back to like really fun and exciting times.
Nice.
I like that.
My one honorable mention is it's early Friday evening. You got off work. You got your Pelly workout in. You're about to do something fun on Friday night, but you got to shower first. Your post Pelly workout, pre going out shower beer is one of my favorite fucking beers.
See, I've never had that overlap. I never had a Peloton when I'd still go out on a Friday. They weren't invented then, Terry.
You could go out on Fridays.
I could. Yeah.
I can see, because a post Peloton shower is one of the greatest things already.
Just shower beers in general is what I'm saying. But
I hear you.
that like very beginning of the weekend shower beer is a special shower beer.
Has anyone invented a shower beer fridge?
Ooh, that is $1 million idea.
That runs cold water through the coils in the back and
Yes.
it hangs from the top of the shower faucet.
Yep.
Don't steal my idea, listeners.
Ooh, man.
If anything,
that's a good
support my
one.
GoFundMe. I am crowdfunding this idea.
Join
the belligerent shower beer fridge.
That is an amazing idea.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up right now. This is the part of the podcast where we look things up.
Yeah, this is a theme.
There
we're
has to
starting.
be one.
Oh my
Right?
god, there's an autocomplete of a shower beer fridge. Oh no, these are like ones that are built into people's showers. Terry, this is you. Literally, it's like, maybe this is a hotel. It's a hotel, and they have a shower beer fridge in the bathroom, in the shower, next to the shower, but not in the shower. So I think I still have a chance to.
I feel a little violated that images of my bathroom are popping up on your Google search right now.
Whoa, some of these images are so crazy what people have done to their showers.
Okay, let's stop talking about showers for a second and actually talk about Oregon State sports, which is what we're here for on the Belligerent Beavs Podcast. You can assume that we're just drinking beers in our showers all the time with the most luxurious shower beers built into our amazing steam showers. We've got a lot to get into, but something we for sure have to mention is that, guys, Oregon State football. It's been a while, but back in action. Spring camp has started. Jonathan Smith meeting with the media, saying things, being cryptic, being not so cryptic, being transparent, being vague, doing all of the college football coaching things. But yeah, the team is practicing. Our friend Carter Baines over at Beaver Blitz has been doing a great job covering all the spring practices so far, tweeting about it, posting articles about it. Head on over to beaverblitz.com to check out all of that content. And get your early 2022 Beaver football fix in. But yeah, we all watched the opening press conference of Jonathan Smith's meeting with the media last week, and some of the comments that have come out since then. And this season will culminate with the annual spring game, which will be held on April 16th. But yeah, so there's kind of a lot to unpack here. Maybe not a ton because it's spring football and it basically spring football and college football is just reading between the lines, but there is a insight to be had. So JP, I'm going to start with you, and I know you watched that Jonathan Smith press conference and have read some of the practice recaps as well. Like, what's your sort of main takeaway from the first little tidbits of spring camp that we've gotten for Oregon State football this year?
Would it be weird to say that all I thought originally as I saw chatter come up and I started looking through different pictures online of practice was one, it looked beautiful out there on the practice field, and two, for some reason I thought, are we gonna ever get rid of those shoulder stripes on our regular uniforms? I don't know why it crossed my mind, but I was really thinking, like, how long ago was it that we got these new uniforms? And because they were still doing the Beavers script on the practice helmets. And so I was thinking, like, okay, well, we're obviously not getting new uniforms this season. But it was 3 years ago that we got those uniforms. It feels like it was maybe longer. I don't know. But that's honestly, that's what I thought. Is that weird? I think so. But I had no other real thoughts other than, sweet, I'm happy football's back. Let's let all the kind of pieces fall into place and be ready for fall.
Hell yeah.
I'm so ready.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be such a fun year.
With half a stadium.
With half a stadium. Hey, that doesn't matter. I think that Jonathan Smith's primed to have this team be a really, really fun team to watch next year.
I mean, I think that this team still has a chance. Obviously, there's so much stuff to play out. This is so early, but like this team has a chance to win the North. There's so much in flux right now with some of like the long-standing, teams that are always in the fight that they could easily have like a above average year. Understandably have an above average year, right? With like new coaches and systems and everything else, transfers in and out. We have some stability. We need a quarterback, I think. I love Chance. Give Nolan a chance still. I'm all about that. But if we can get some continuity on offense, we can get some running backs, which we have, some stud running backs that are about to make their debuts for the Beavs this season.
Right.
I'm excited. I think we could do it. I really think this is the year. I think we're just going to build upon last year. I don't think this is like the kind of Riley era where we either just stayed at the top and plateaued or kind of trickled down, then plateaued again. I think that with Jonathan Smith and the way he's building this program is like we really do find ourselves on the upward swing of building like a perennial championship contender.
I think
Pac-12 championship at least.
Yeah. I think this year the North will come down to the Civil War game with Oregon.
Excuse me.
I think. Excuse you. What? Didn't we agree to keep calling it the Civil War?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm on that. I'm on that side of the fence, but just making sure.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I thought we agree, and obviously we're open to whatever. But I thought we had made that decision on this.
People can change, Terry.
Exactly. I believe Rocky Balboa said that very eloquently at one point. So yeah, I am very bullish on the Beavs for this season as well. Spring ball, I'm not sure really what I'm looking for or hoping to see. Maybe just hearing that there's more consistency out of Chance, seeing if if Chance really is the 100% full go starter from day one, and if Smith is even entertaining opening up a quarterback competition or anything like that. That's something I'll be paying attention to. Smith mentioned in his first address to the media that newcomers Dylan Lopez along the offensive line and running back Damian Martinez were two scholarship players that are with the team this spring. So obviously we got some bodies on the offensive line that need to be replaced. And also obviously BJ Baylor is gone. So I don't think there's going to be one running back that totally fills in for BJ. I think we'll probably see a lot of guys mixed in and out with carrying that load. And honestly, it seems like we have the talent and the selection for a pretty exciting running back by committee. And I actually think that could be a strength. I'm not sure if we'll have one guy who breaks out and has, 1,400 yard season. So yeah, I'll just be excited to hear how these guys are doing, and also monitoring injuries. Like Isaac Hodgins, who missed all of last year, and Elton Julian, who got that crazy or devastating injury towards the end of last football season. They're not going to be doing a ton during spring ball, but just
don't rush it.
Don't rush it, but to see how they're coming along health wise. Because if those are two guys that come back for our defense, this team could be pretty good. It's returning it's returning a lot of bodies on defense. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, one who will always be a what if, Addison Gums left the program.
That's confirmed.
That's confirmed.
Was any reason cited?
I'm guessing he just wants he's not transferring. He's leaving Oregon State. He's going into coaching under his dad, Desmond Gums, who's the head football coach at Lincoln University.
Okay.
So I think I'm guessing that he just couldn't get healthy enough to play.
To play ball.
Which is a bummer. I wish him the best of luck in coaching, but
yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's one of those things that happens.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Addison. Sucks that it couldn't work out, but obviously, these things are never very clear, and just happy that you're moving on with your health in place and a good job in place, and so yeah, best of luck over at Lincoln U. That'll be dope. That's a nice backup plan for sure. Anything? Well, also on NFL Beavs, Tegan Couturiano had a pretty damn good combine.
Yeah, he did.
Every other tight end besides Jelani Woods from Virginia, and also just on some of the pass catching drills, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll see him drafted or late drafted, but I think he definitely did himself a few favors in Indy this weekend.
Agreed. Yeah, he definitely did. And I don't think that without that, there would have been really a chance of him getting drafted. But I think he put himself into the mix after the combine for sure.
Yeah, and it doesn't really talk to his value though if he goes super late round. I feel like tight ends lately are the kind of position that it's a system type player, and they'll wait on you. So if the offense matches your skill set, they'll get you in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, and you'll still have a chance of making the 52-man roster. So I don't think that he did himself any damage by his combine workouts by any means, but hopefully, he lands somewhere that he gets utilized nicely.
For sure. For sure. Best of luck, Tegan, and to BJ and Avery Roberts and everyone else who will be going through the NFL draft process. And the Oregon State Pro Day, which is part of that process, is scheduled for March 31st. So there will be more content around the Beaver NFL hopefuls at that time, end of the month. And we'll be here to talk about all of it.
We'll be here.
Hopefully, our favorite teams pick up some of these dudes so we get a chance to follow them in the pros even more closely. Because that's always fun.
It's always fun.
Well, moving on from spring football, we got to talk about sports that are actually in season right now. Oregon State baseball, still doing great.
9-1.
9-1. That one blemish happened this afternoon. Dropped its first game of the season to UC Irvine. Still won the series, not a sweep, but 9-1. And Justin Boyd hit his first home run of his college career. Actually, I was gonna say first home run of the season, but first home run of his college career. So opened the series. It really looked like Oregon State flexed their muscles on a pretty damn good UC Irvine program. Couldn't come up with the sweep, but still got the series win. So moving into the Pac-12 conference play, we've got Washington State up next on the Palouse. But just now after another full series, one played at home, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. JP, how are you feeling about Mitch's boys now 10 full games into the season?
It's still great. I mean, you got to get that one loss out of the way. It's going to happen at some point. So Irvine's a good program. They looked great against them the first 2 games. Today they fought back after being down, on the Sunday game, already winning the series, and they're down 2-0 in the 3rd inning. So, and I think one of them, like Melton, dropped a ball at the fence to give Irvine either their first or second run. I can't remember. So, it's just one of those games you're like, whatever. We've already won 2. Let's see what we can get. And to climb back and tie it in the 8th and losing extra frames, like there's some good resiliency there on the team. The offense is still obviously there, and same with the pitching. Like when you lose a close one, a 3-2 like that, like your pitching's keeping you in the game. Just couldn't get any of the timely hits that they needed today. And, guys like Bazana are just still, raking. And what I love to see about most of the team is some of the their patience at the plate. So obviously they're jumping down people's throats, like crushing teams and mercy ruling them. But they're still taking and waiting for their pitch, and I think that'll bode well through the rest of the season as we now kick off conference play.
I forget where I saw it, but that there were 2 starting pitchers in the Beavers rotation that were out this weekend for whatever reason.
Yep.
So the fact that we were able to keep that 3rd game and cap them at 3 runs, I think that's more telling than what the actual score is, because our bats went quiet and they're not going to go quiet very often.
Yep.
So I
Totally
think it
agree.
actually bodes really well.
Yeah, keep riding the wave. I mean, I don't think I expected them to be 9-1 at this point in the season. I think at the beginning of the season we looked at it and said, I don't know, how good is New Mexico? How good is Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Like, no idea. I haven't really checked to see how good those programs are now.
Good friend of the pod, Joe Hedberg, was tweeting positive things about Gonzaga baseball.
There you go.
So I didn't look at the
Thanks,
record or anything, but it looks like Gonzaga baseball, who almost won that Eugene Regional last year, is a pretty good team. So good for them, good for us, good for Mitch, good for the whole squad, good for the hard hat industry. The Belligerent Beavs hard hats are still in the lab, but they're coming out. I looked at the team schedule, and obviously we hope to all meet up in Omaha for the College World Series this year and to see the Beavs play there. I think I could make that last regular season series against UCLA in Corvallis happen.
Ooh.
I think I could make that.
Oh.
I'm down.
It's like May 19th through the 21st.
Yeah.
Benny, you
Yeah.
could do it?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh,
That'd
yeah,
be
I'll be there.
May Corvallis. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad just talked about today. They were in town and they flew back this evening to the Bay Area, but he was saying he wants to come up and catch a game. We were actually at Pelican Brewing in Cannon Beach on the way back from the coast this afternoon.
Shout out to Pelican Brewing.
Yeah, the guy's sitting there with his girlfriend or wife, and they're talking. He's wearing a Beavs hat, so we start chatting him up as we're waiting outside. And he said that he's actually from Calgary, and he runs a baseball clinic in Calgary where he's sent a lot of players down to either Corvallis visits or onto the team. Didn't really elaborate much. Then I was talking about like when we were there and how I was in school for 06 and 07 and running through players, right? Like, oh, this guy and this guy. And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, Tyler Graham. I'm like, yeah. And that guy ended up in the Giants system. He's like, yeah, that's where I met him. I was in the Giants system too. He's like, I'm friends with Tyler Graham, and like that's why I'm sending kids to OSU from my baseball clinic. And anyways, I don't remember the guy's name, so shout out that Canadian baseball player from Calgary.
Did you give him a Bebe sticker?
No, I didn't have anything with me. I should have. I know. But yeah, I mean, either way, we started talking. We should go. My dad's like, I should come back. We should go to a game. My dad went to UCLA. His birthday's May 16th.
Oh, your dad would love the
perfect.
UCLA series then.
Yeah. So I'll throw that one at him and see.
Yeah, let him know. We'll maybe even all jump off a building together in Jimbo's honor.
As long as there's a pool below you, not
As long as
jump
there's
off.
a very, very deep pool that will save our lives. So yeah, shout out Oregon State baseball, 9-1, one of the best teams in the country.
Yep.
Big series against the Cougs on the Palouse next week, and keeping the winning vibes going, the good vibes. The championship hopeful vibes.
Ooh, yeah.
The dominant vibes. Well, before we get into this, I got to ask both you guys a question. I'm asking a lot of questions tonight, but I have another question for you.
Terry's Topics.
Terry's Topics. Hashtag Terry's Topics. Is 17-3 good?
Yes.
I would say so.
Yeah.
You would say so? So, like, depending on the circumstances, like, context is key. Is 17 wins and 3 losses good?
Unbiasedly, yes.
Yeah, I think that's like an .850 winning percentage.
Yeah, and that's fairly good, probably, right? That's almost that's objectively good, no matter what you're doing. Or great, great. The great word great.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, I thought the same thing. That's why, the three of us get along so well, because we're of one mind. So I don't know why I thought that, but anyway, the Oregon State softball team is now 17-3 after 5 straight wins in the Amy S. Harrison Classic. Already 4 wins away from eclipsing last season's win total. So Laura Berg's team, shout out Laura Berg, Olympian, just badass boss of the Oregon State softball team. This is looking like, when we go into these segments at the beginning of seasons, we always kind of just like, all right, this team's winning. How long will they keep it up?
Here we go again.
Is this for real? Is this not for real?
Cynical magic.
It is. Every Amy Sinicola sport is just balling. We're giving Amy too much props right now. I don't want to stroke Amy's ego any more before, because now we got gymnastics going to Pac-12s with the fucking season on the line. So it's just like, Amy, get the fucking job done. But also softball, Sinicola sport, 17-3, Laura Berg, this team just keeps on piling on runs and keeps on just waxing opponents. And it looks like where we're kind of on here in past episodes, it's be like, it'd be really fun if we got to go to Omaha and Oklahoma. But now it's like, I mean, they're not really giving us any reason to doubt that that'd be a thing. And that's just, it's been a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm having fun with this so far. JP, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like softball's stepping out of the baseball shadow as a game played on the diamond in spring, and they're showing the Beaver fam and the world what they're made of. I mean, number 25 to open the week, they're definitely rising up the rankings now. Outscored opponents 32-2 this weekend, and on a 14-game winning streak, which is the longest ever under head coach Laura Berg. So they're hot. They're really hot.
How many teams go to OKC? Is it 8?
Probably. That's the same as
it's 8.
Yeah, it's 8 who go to Omaha. It'd be weird if it was
more
smaller than that, more or less. But yeah, dude, this weekend, like, the closest was a 3-1 victory against North Dakota State. Wins against Cal Baptist, 7-0. Beat UC Riverside 9-1, beat Sacred Heart 8-0. Like, we got, obviously there'll be games and big series against the Pac-12 schools coming up that will show how, there'll be a bigger telltale to how good this team really is. But we've been around the block a little bit before, and this kind of winning streaks, this kind of run differential, this kind of offensive explosion isn't common. And I think, getting to the edge of the rankings for Laura Berg's team is a huge accomplishment, and it's awesome. But I think they're just scratching the surface. So I'm expecting this group to keep on blowing up, and this is going to be exciting. I think we have, we hit our little winter cool down with basketball. No shade thrown at anyone. It just kind of happened that way. I think this spring warm up is coming up fast and coming in pretty hot.
Spring term, baby.
Spring term in Corvallis, baby. There's nothing like it.
I'm excited.
And now they're coming back to Oregon. So we've got
finally get a chance to go watch them.
Yeah, some games coming up this week. Tomorrow, Robert Morris, and then the Oregon State-Oregon tournament starting on Friday. So get out to Kelly Field.
Why aren't we playing Oregon in the Oregon State-Oregon tournament?
I think we're just the two sites hosting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we're playing North Dakota State, who is green and yellow, and Portland State, who is green and white. So,
and we just played North Dakota State today.
And we just played North Dakota State today. So we're playing North Dakota State again. Shout out North Dakota State, I guess. Shout out Fargo. North Dakota State is basically in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, like we don't have much history with them either. Like we've had like 3 games. We're 2-1. I think that was including our win.
It's the Oregon colors to get us ready to get mad.
And then Portland State to like bring it back locally to the state of Oregon, where we are 40-4 all time against Portland State softball.
Right.
So,
and we also know most Duck fans went to Portland State anyway. So that's just kidding. Go Vikings. Shout out Oregon State softball. Y'all are badasses. Anything else on softball, JP, before we move on?
No, I think we covered it.
Well, no, we got to talk about Tarney Steptoe. Sorry. Complete game performance for the Oregon State softball team. Struck out 9 and allowed just 1 to the 23 batters she faced, earning the 5th win of her career. Matt,
you'll remember from the 2020 Olympics on the Australian team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Masterful shit. Hell yeah, Tarney. Thank you for holding us down and for bringing back that Olympic mastery to Oregon State softball. And y'all are killing it so far. Keep up the good work. And I think we may have another Cinecola championship on our hands. And that's a perfect segue into the next team we have to talk about, which is Oregon State Gymnastics, the Pac-12 Conference champions.
Yeah.
Entirely because of our friend Amy Cinecola. Just kidding.
Only mostly,
for sure. But because they've been just on fire all year. Can't say enough about this team. They beat the Arizona Wildcats to win their first road meet of the season in the Pac-12 conference, to clinch the conference championship. Jade Carey, aka Jade Carey, as she's known in the Belligerent Beavs Kingdom, took home her 8th consecutive all-around. Now has scored 9 nines in 30 of 32 routines this year.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus,
is that a typo?
No, she scored 9.99 and 30 of 32
fucking
routines.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maggie Dagan scored her 8th all-around of the season, taking second, 39.325. Just JP. Let's get 5 seconds of Champion by Kanye West. That's the champion. That's the championship vibe I want for these Pac-12 champions. And they're not done yet. Lots more to come for this team. But JP, anything from Warren? Anything from what you saw this weekend? Anything you're expecting? Did anyone get bullshitted this time around? We didn't get a single perfect 10, and I'm ready to fight somebody about that. But we still got the win, so don't want to go too crazy. But
I think there's a lot to be said though about getting that road meet win. It seems like in collegiate gym there's some bias to the judging for the home team and home crowd. So getting that win is big, especially leading into one final dual meet in Denver before we go to Pac-12 championships. Just keep that momentum going, and everyone seemingly honing in their skills for the final push. Also, shout out Caitlin Garcia and Caitlin Yanish. Birthdays today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Also, happy birthday to Taylor Jones on the women's basketball team, who has the same birthday as you, JP.
Yeah. That was cool. We had listeners point that out.
I know.
I did not know that.
But
yeah.
I mean,
shout out Taylor Jones.
Small
birthday
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Small victories in this.
Her ears are ringing right now. She's like, "Who's talking about me?"
Well, yes. So I'm very excited about what's going on with Oregon State Gym. I think there's a really good chance that this turns into just classic, Oregon State Beaver believing natty run. And, we say that you can't spell Chapham without hope. And I think this team has plenty of hope and a lot of swag and a lot of, performance as well that we've seen in person and in the meets that we've watched from afar. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to our friend Amy Sinicola again. Shout out to the entire Oregon State gymnastics program. Y'all are making us proud as hell right now.
Hell yeah. They're Pac-12 conference
Hell
champs.
yeah.
They got a share of it at least.
Oh yeah, fucking right. So how does this work? It's a share there.
It's like the regular season share. So ASU, right. Cal, and Utah, and the Beavs have a share of the regular season Pac-12 championship.
Okay.
We are champions.
All right, and this dual meet in Denver that they have next week has nothing to do with the
no, I don't think so.
Pac-12 title. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, or it's Nebraska, Denver, and Arkansas.
Well, I just didn't know if other Pac-12 teams were also competing against other schools, and if like a tiebreaker was,
No, I think that's it.
Hang a fucking banner.
I know.
Hang a fucking banner for the Belligerent Beavs Hall of Famers.
Yeah. We should start find like some empty hall in Gill and just start printing out our own Belligerent Beavs Hall of Famer posters and just like lacquering them up into the wall, and people are like, who's putting this here?
I don't know if we can do that in Gill. It's probably a warehouse in Southtown we can rent out, though. I think we have the budget for that at this point. Thanks to our amazing Patreon supporters and everyone who's rating and reviewing the podcast. If you want the Belligerent Beavs Hall of Fame to be a brick and mortar actual location, check out our Patreon. Join the Patreon. Give us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify, and we can make it happen together, Beaver fam. Oh man. We gotta talk about women's hoops, which, oh my god, just the hits keep coming. Big win over Arizona State to start the Pac-12 tournament, but of course that means the team just draws Stanford and started I'd say, and we want to be careful here, but I would say the first quarter against Stanford after a 16-2 deficit was not our best quarter of the season.
No.
And it just really feels like that this team couldn't catch a break this year. And I'm not trying to say that previous teams under Ruick have caught breaks, and that's why the program's been so successful these last 10 plus years. But just everything seemed to go wrong. And who knows, maybe there's a chance that the selection committee still puts Oregon State in the tournament. I'm not expecting it.
No.
I think so. I think women's NIT is in the cards, but I don't know. I mean, it's when we look back on this season, it's gonna be hard to really pinpoint exactly what went wrong beyond the injuries, and I think we're just gonna have to wait to see how this team reacts next year, how the team builds on it, and what happens. It's still a young team. A lot of talent will be coming back next year, and if they all stay healthy collectively, I think it's a team that can win the Pac-12.
Oh, for sure. Well, there's so much youth on this team. There's like, I actually don't have a problem with them heading to the WNIT. I don't, because it gets them more games to play. If they end up in the NCAA tournament and they're bounced in the first round, what does that do to build upon the experience of this team? They don't. I hate to say this, but they don't deserve to be there. I get it. If they were 14-13 and they were making this push at the end of the season, like we've kind of like got over the hump, right? We got past the injuries. We've got past all the weird COVID postponements and weird midday, weekday games. And now here we are. This is us. Like, we're sprinting to the finish line. I would for sure say that they had a shot, but they're like 3-8 in their last 11 games.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the push to like make an impact in March Madness. And so I think the NIT is a good spot for them. I do. Just, go and show out there, get a few more games in your belt, come back strong next season. I don't think that's a failure of a season. We have a lot of young players getting a lot of really great experience.
I buy that. Yeah. I mean, the more postseason games that you can get, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been a year quite like this under Ruick, at least not for a long time. So I'm not totally, upset that this is like maybe like a reset year. Like we've gone to the tournament in, let's see, like the 8 of the last 9 years, like 9 of the last 10 years.
Pretty much.
So yeah, so just like I don't, we're beyond. This isn't the men's team where it's just, even with an Elite 8 thing last year, it's like, just get to the tournament to make us happy. Just get to the fucking tournament.
Right.
Like, just getting to the tournament doesn't really do anything. So if this team can get more practices and even like playing the NIT, and if they get a win and like move on, then like that's better. I do just think this team needs to keep playing together more and working towards development, because it wasn't in the cards for Ruick to have another Final Four year this season like he had in 2016. But that could be next year, or that could be the year after. And you can lay the groundwork for that shit right now. And that's also similar to like how, I don't even know how much men's basketball we're going to talk for the rest of this episode. I don't really want to talk men's basketball.
I thought we already did.
We did a little. We did a little bit. We did a little bit, but like part of my thing with Tinkle at this point was like there was a threshold where it was like, all right, this season's fucking over. So, but I could coach these guys up to maybe be the best that they can be in 23, 24, 25. And just fuck this year. And I'm not saying Ruick or anyone in the Oregon State women's basketball program has mailed it in or whatever, but you do need to be pragmatic in these situations. And I think I would certainly hope that we would accept a bid to the women's NIT and play our asses off the way that we always play our asses off. And I think that would help this team grow and just kind of reset and come back next year for the 2022-23 season and get back to the typical ways of competing for the conference championship. So it just was not in the cards for this team this year. And I don't blame anybody. Not just to be like, oh, only like bad luck was the only thing. There's some really fucking good teams in this conference. So it's not to put it on that at all, but like I just don't think that the stars aligned for this group this year.
Well, and a conference play was just rough for them. And think about, they had, if you remember back in December, they had all those cancellations and postponements for COVID. They played like one game in like an entire month span.
We had like 35 days in between games, and then
to open conference play after that.
And then Taylor got hurt like 3 games into that shit, like after it resumed. Like, cool.
I think that had a lot to do with it for sure. That huge long gap between playing games. We said it back when it was happening too.
Yeah. And then like honestly, the whole makeup games, they weren't the only team that had to face this, of course. But like they're young, and so when you are trying to get this team to gel, and they have to take a month off, and they have to fly to Washington, fly home, go to class, fly 2 days later early in the morning to go do an afternoon game in Pullman, like it's gonna throw you off. Like if that's your first time doing this, like most people, but also if you're a freshman or a redshirt freshman and you're like, what is going on? Like I thought this was supposed to be like a consistent schedule.
Why am I playing in Pullman at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday in front of 8 people?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. So I think the youth was a big part. The layoff was a big part. The injuries were a huge part. but it's not all for naught. Like this team got a lot of good experience.
So hopefully, they come back healthy next year, and this whole squad got a lot more experience, and they just, we got some really good recruits coming in, and it's just a reload type situation. So,
yeah, yep.
But yeah, it just really, I for one am personally offended that Ruick did not have it planned to make it to the Final Four when the women's Final Four was in Minneapolis. I'm a little upset about that because I really wanted to go in person and just go ape shit. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna support the teams that are there. We'll see. Well, I'll adopt a team to cheer for that weekend. But yeah, it at the outset, it does not look like the Oregon State Beavers will be making the women's Final Four in Minneapolis this season. So
no, I doubt it. I doubt it.
So,
but and also, you know what? To make this exciting and on a high note, shout out Ellie Mack. She had a great of.
She had such an
Pac-12
awesome
play.
Press conference too, just about like the positive things that come out of like the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And things like that, where, she started at a non-Power 5 college, but like dreamed of playing at this level, played her way here, and I don't know, she's just goals. Just goals.
Yeah.
Shout out Ellie Mack.
Yeah. And she carried us pretty much all of February. Yeah. The Stanford game about a month ago, she got locked down pretty hard, but without her, I don't think they would have had an exciting Pac-12 tournament showing.
I know. Yeah. Well, congratulations to the Oregon State women's basketball team. Congratulations, Coach Ruick, and just the whole program. I once again just making the whole fan base and the whole Beaver fam proud.
Hell yeah.
It is such a joy to watch that team play. And, as we mentioned, our fucking killer in the backcourt, Talia Van Oelhoffen, still just a freshman in eligibility. Yep. And she scored a shitload of points already. Yes. So the future is bright for this team. So I'm excited about Oregon State women's hoops next year. And,
absolutely. And whatever postseason run they've got coming up, it's coming out.
Agreed.
If it's the women's NIT, I'm tuning in and I'm getting excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 08 CBI excited. Which was its own brand of excitement. But I'm telling you, I'm bringing that shit back. HD Net, where you at, dog?
Niche excitement.
Niche excitement. Ricky Klatt pouring in 28 in El Paso. Getting weird with it. Rulin Shaftenar taking most outstanding player honors home. I do have to mention quickly some shout outs. Men's soccer and men's soccer and women's soccer spring season is getting started soon.
That's right.
The spring schedule is on osubbeavers.com, so check that shit out.
Wait, before you go on though, I didn't know they did this. A spring.
Me neither.
Dude, no. I wrote spring articles about men's and women's soccer for the Barometer back in the day.
I must have just thought they were still playing.
Where were you?
We didn't read all your articles.
You said you read every word I ever published. This is blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Do they have a tournament and like a champion at the end of spring season?
No. Oh. Do you remember right after I graduated and I was interning for the Timbers and they had that Timbers, of course, yeah.
I do.
You still think I'm interning for the Timbers 12 years later, JP? There is.
You were Benny's source.
My inside source.
Jesus Christ. Do you remember that Timbers Beavers scrimmage in Corvallis?
Yeah, I do.
And Benny was like, Terry, introduce me to Footy Danso. Introduce me to Darlington Nagby. And I was like, no. I can't. But yeah, that was
still not happy.
I'm
yeah, see how you didn't laugh.
Oh shit, the Timbers are playing right now. What's the score of the Timbers?
1-0.
It's still 1-0. Jimmy Chara. No, it's 1-1 now. Sorry, buddy.
What?
Oh, dude, shit. LAFC just scored. It's 1-1.
Damn.
Let's not talk about soccer. You're bad luck.
And we have a red card.
Who got a red card?
Claudio Bravo.
Man, I used to play FIFA. I used to play FIFA 97 on the Super Nintendo. And you could slide tackle like all over the field. They also had an indoor soccer mode, if you remember that, and it was like
the futsal mode, yeah,
and you could do and it was like penalty, and I got so many. I had it to the point where I got so many red cards. I only had like one guy on the whole field like playing against 11. It was amazing.
Shocking that your love of professional soccer has been stunted since then. But in Major League Soccer, lots of Oregon State flavor. Kyrie Shelton has started both games for Sporting Kansas City. Sofyan Jafal has come off the bench in both games for DC United. They've been playing really well. Tiki Natabayang has also come off the bench in both of FC Dallas's games so far. So all three of those guys have been killing it. But of course, I'm ending this to talk about my dude. Minnesota United FC, a.k.a. the Black and Blue, a.k.a. the Loons. JP, please play 5 seconds of Wonderwall by Oasis.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
All right, I like that. That's
I know you love. That's how I relate it to you. Even though we play Wonderwall after wins, and we've drawn 2 games in a row, 1-1. But Hassani Dotson, Oregon State legend, who's become one of the best defensive midfielders in MLS, and also just a really clutch goal scorer. Found himself in the box with a chance to equal the score against a really tough Nashville squad last night in the home opener in Minnesota, and he put that fucker in the back of the net. So shout out to Hassani Dotson, Oregon State legend.
I just like men's soccer. Our notes is just Hassani Dotson.
So many exclamation marks.
Every other team in our notes has like multiple bullets with details. Men's soccer is Hassani Dotson in all caps. But anyway, that's just a way of saying there's lots of Oregon State flavor in Major League Soccer this year. So check out these dudes who are balling in MLS, and also on both the men's and women's soccer side of things. There's stuff happening in the spring. So check that shit out. Get out to Paul Lorenz Fields. Can we start a frenzy at Paul Lorenzi in the spring? I don't know, but I think our listeners can do it. Our listeners can do it. So challenge accepted. Support Oregon State men's and women's soccer as always. It's a lot of fun, and both teams are going to be ballers and in the thick of the championship race in college soccer this fall, and I can't wait. Anything else, you guys? This was a pretty clean, straightforward episode. We just went through our bullet points, and it was like nothing crazy, chaotic, or unhinged at all. What the fuck is happening to us?
We covered a lot.
We did cover a lot.
We covered how many sports? 7 different teams?
6 sports. Yeah. They don't call us legends for nothing.
That's right.
We're not legends though, but okay. Anyway, for all 3 of us at the Belligerent. Oh, are we doing a Benny's bonus Bellig after this, or are we gonna wait till next week?
Next week.
You don't have a question prepared, Benny? That's okay. We did one last week, didn't we? I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway,
yeah. It'll be up on the Patreon tomorrow.
Betty's bonus belligerents on the Patreon.
It's up
tomorrow.
Now. When you're listening to it, it is up now.
It's up now. It's good. While you're listening. Listen, yeah. It's good. You
can hear about my dad jumping off a 3rd-story roof into a pool.
Even with that context, I forgot what we talked about. Probably because I jumped off things into pools. But thank you, listener, again for tuning in to this 38th episode of the Belligerent Beavs Podcast. We sincerely appreciate you being here during the spring term in Corvallis. It's spring in Corvallis. I don't care how hard it's raining.
It's still winter term, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, spring term's like it starts at the end of March, right?
Yeah.
The end of March?
Yeah,
For real?
I think so.
You clearly didn't go to class, Terry.
I did. I'm just forgetting. I've been working at other higher ed institutions for too long. I'm sorry. I'm treating it like spring term just because it was a fucking blizzard here in Minneapolis last night. I don't give a shit. Anyway, thank you for being here for the Belligerent Beavs Podcast. On behalf of my esteemed co-host, as always, JP Bertram at JP Bertram on Instagram, at the Trial J on Twitter, Trial to be real, and our partner in crime wearing the most 1980s shit possible, that University
That's what we talked
Miami
about.
shirt. That's what we talked about last week. The the U in the 80s. I can't remember what song that was from, but JP, if you think of it, please play 5 seconds of it. But the man wearing that shirt is Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian WH at Benny L 1986 on Twitter and Instagram. And I am Terry Horseman at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at Terrence Horseman on Instagram. And please follow us on our Patreon, all our social media channels at Belligerent Beavs. Rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. It helps us grow the show a lot. 5 stars only. And tell all of your friends, if you know anyone you know who went to Oregon State, who likes Oregon State, tell the Duck fan in your life, because all of their podcasts suck. We don't listen to them. We actually have no idea. But
I don't have any clue.
We've been endorsed by multiple Duck fans who like listening to us. So this is it's about the Beaver fan, but Duck fans are welcome to listen as well. We'll ridicule you, but you're welcome. And it's like, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner table. So bring all of the Duck fans, the Husky fans, the Coug fans. Bring your wounded. Just bring everybody to the party. This is the Belligerent Beavs. I'm Terry Horseman. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in again next week for a brand new episode. And remember, always remember, we say chop 'em in this family, and you scientifically cannot spell chop 'em without hope. Chop 'em!
Chop 'em!
Chop 'em!
Shout out Drew Eubanks. You've been balling too. We didn't have time to talk about you. Bye.